Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and I'm bringing you the latest Q posts. There was one from yesterday that I didn't get to because I thought didn't make a lot of sense to just bring one post to you. And then there's one from today, but I've also got a few other little tasty nuggets to bring to you. It is 3:26 p.m., April 14th, and it is one day before taxes are due, although I'm pretty sure that they're not due until Monday. I'm not sure how that works when tax day falls on a weekend, but that's what I would imagine anyway. So if you're American and you haven't done your taxes, get to it. Turn this video off and do your taxes. And I'm speaking that to myself as well because I haven't done mine. All right. So this is the post from yesterday, and it says, trust POTUS, Sparrow red, missiles only, Intel good, Q. Now, the night of April 13th, going into the 14th, is when the strikes on Syria happened. I know a lot of people are upset about that and do not understand what POTUS is doing. Myself included to a certain point, although I really feel at peace with it. I do think that I don't think that we have the story, and I don't think that Q could certainly put the real story, give us that, even in code at this point, because it would inform our enemies. So we're getting misinformation. I don't think that POTUS is telling us the story, certainly. And I think that, Q can't really tell us the story either because, well, for obvious reasons. But I think in the days to come and the weeks to come, we'll have more information and we'll be able to look back on this and say, okay, yeah, it was all under control. So let's look at this in light of that. Trust POTUS, Sparrow red. Now, I've seen a lot of people that think that this has something to do with Red Sparrow, which was a novel that was made into a movie with Jennifer Lawrence. I don't think it does. Originally, I wondered that. I wonder if it has something to do with spies or, Red Soviet. I wasn't really sure, but now I'm almost 100%, like 99.999% sure of what it does relate to, and I will show you. I'll just close some of this down. All right. The AIM-7 Sparrow is a type of missile. And of course, maybe you guys know that. As I've said before, I'm not a military person. I respect the military greatly, but I've never been in the military and I don't know anyone. I know some people in the Canadian military, but I don't know anyone in the American military. So I'm just not up to date with this. But apparently the AIM-7 is a radar-guided air-to-air missile with a high explosive warhead used by all of the U.S. military's fighter and attack aircraft. The versatile Sparrow has all-weather, all-altitude operational capability and can attack high-performance aircraft and missiles from any direction. It is widely deployed missile used by U.S. and North Atlantic Treaty Organization forces. The missile has 4 major sections: guidance section, warhead, control, and rocket motor. It has a cylindrical body with 4 wings at mid-body and 4 tail fins. I don't know if we need to know all this, but although external dimensions of the Sparrow remained relatively unchanged from model to model, the internal components of newer missiles represent major improvements with vastly increased capabilities. The AIM-7F joined the Air Force inventory in 1976 as the primary medium-range air-to-air missile for the F-15 Eagle. So that's what this is. It was used in the Persian Gulf War, and from what I understand, and maybe some of you people that are military or ex-military can confirm this, but I don't think that it has nuclear capabilities. And there was somewhere in a post where Q said no nuclear. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and find that, but I don't believe this has nuclear capabilities, or if it does, they weren't used. Now, I am speaking unintelligibly about this because, and just kind of speaking in the dark here because, again, I have no military background. So that's what I understand from what I've read, but I could be wrong and would welcome being corrected by someone with the knowledge of this, firsthand knowledge or whatever. All right, so let's go back and not belabor that. And so he says missiles only, which I think he's saying, okay, there's no boots on the ground. That's how I would interpret that they're only using missiles. This is just a missile attack. They're not going in. They're not invading. They don't have boots on the ground there. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know, but that is what Q is saying here. And he says intel good, Q. So they're getting good intel from someone. Now, if we go up to here, now a listener named James sent this to me. I later found someone on Facebook, or not Facebook, but Twitter that had posted it as well. But that is where I saw this first, is from him, and I do think that it's right on. If you see here, it says TSMI. Well, TSMI, top secret military intel. And then SR is special reconnaissance, intel good. So what he's really saying in code here is that this is top secret military intel through special reconnaissance, and the intel's good. And this is excellent. I found this before I had even looked at, this person sent this to me before I had even looked at the post yet. So it saved me time having to decode it. But I think whoever's done this has done an awesome job. So today, the 14th, Q posted again. And I did just check 1 second ago before I turned this on. I checked to see if there were any more, and there aren't, but I fully expect that there will be. It is unusual for Q to just post one post on the board, but it has happened, as we see here. It has happened, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was more tonight. So I will keep an eye on that, but I want to get to this, and I also want to, there's a few other things that I want to bring up that are very, very pertinent and, along the same line. So this one says, expand your thinking. The date versus actual. Well, the date that, and first of all, let's go up to here, because this is what, okay, I'm actually reading you the last part of the post without reading the first part, and that doesn't make sense. So let me go up here. This is what he posted in full. And he posted a picture of his post from, sorry, I just hit the table, his post from April 8th, and it says night 4, increase in chatter, authorize B19, 2, sparrow, red, prevent at all costs, good, castle, online, Q. Then beneath it, he posted a picture of an Anon's comment on the board, and this Anon put this, I'm not sure where they got it, but this Anon said, possible link between Q post and Mackenzie's statement about missiles in Syria. Mackenzie, 79 missiles destroyed by Barza Research and Development Center. This will set the Syrian CW program by years. Mackenzie, 22 missiles hit the Shinzer chemical weapons storage site. All coalition forces were involved in kinetic strikes. Mackenzie, 2 USAF B-1 Lancer bombers launched 19 missiles. So here we have, it's a B-1 bomber, 19 missiles, and here we have authorized B-19-2. So there's 2 bombers there. They launched 19 missiles, and they were a B-1. We have not seen any military response from actors within Syria since the strikes. We position defensive counter-air assets around Syria, and these are still active. So, interesting, because down below, Q, referring to that, says expand your thinking. The date versus actual. Well, April 8th is when he talks about authorizing the strikes, and April 13th, the night of April 13th, going into April 14th is when the strikes occurred. So then he tells us Iran next. And we were told this way back. So we've known that this was going to happen. He said that it was going to happen in Iran. So we can be looking for that next. On the horizon, it says trust the plan. April showers. Now, I need to look into this a little bit more too to see if these words stand for anything. These letters stand for anything. I just thought of that now. I thought, he's put that in a little kill bracket, so not sure. There may be other meanings to that, but I think of showers as they're showering. The missiles are showering down, and the missiles serve the purpose of showering, and cleansing the nation, because I don't believe that they're going after Assad. I believe that they're going after the deep state's chemical weapon plants. That's what I think that they're doing there, personally. Then Q says, do you believe in coincidences? Q. Well, I do believe in coincidences. However, in this case, no, I don't. And Q has told us over and over again that there are no coincidences when it comes to this stuff. So we need to stop all this weirdness. Like, I watched a Alex Jones video, and I was absolutely shocked because I've never heard him. I've heard him swear, but never use the F word. And it was just every second word was F, F this, F that, F Trump. And I was really shocked by that, and I was really shocked that it got on air. So I think people need to just stop freaking out. We elected Trump because we trust him. Yes, we need to keep an eye on what's going on because, again, he's just a man, and by that I mean mankind. I'm not putting down men in general, but he's flesh and blood. So, but in this case, I don't know. I tend to disbelieve what I'm hearing from Trump and the mainstream media and believe that it's a different scenario. Now, here is something that I copied from an anon. And it says, remember when Q said that they couldn't get eyes on the chemical attack to prove it was a deep state action? Well, intel good equals finally have eyes on evidence, so they bombed them and used this as cover. Missiles only means it's not a war, invasion, etc. They're just bombing the deep state bases, etc. Now, that's what I believe, so that's why when I saw this, I copied it, because that happens to be my view of things as well. You may feel differently. You may feel that Trump has betrayed us and betrayed the American people. That may happen at some point, but I don't believe it's happened yet, and I don't believe that this is that. So that's where I stand anyway. Now, let's go on. Now, this is something interesting I saw, and I wanted to run it by you guys, see what you guys think, because I know we have some pretty sharp cookies here. Can cookies ever be sharp, really? I just thought of that. That's an odd saying, isn't it? I wouldn't think that they could be, but one never knows. Okay, North Korea might be building a massive military base in Syria. Huh. Well, knowing that North Korea was run by the CIA, what does that say? And is this true? This comes from American Military News. I've never been to this website. I can't verify its veracity, but it seems to be I don't know. United States has acquired information that indicates North Korea may be running a large underground military base in Syria. The Washington Free Beacon reported on Wednesday the military base could be used for advanced weaponry and nuclear-related work, according to U.S. officials tracking the situation. Regional reports have recently surfaced that outline how North Korea is complete in its construction of an underground military base near the region of Qardara in Syria. Qardara is the hometown of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. So I don't know, and I'm not... we know about the tunnels have been built during the last 7 years in a deep valley in Qardara under the supervision of North Korean experts. President Donald Trump and his administration have called on U.S. allies to join together in an effort to combat these types of actions and pressure North Korea and Syria to cease such operations. Now, I don't believe for a minute that Assad used chemical weapons against his own people. I don't, because it doesn't make sense. Why would he? Trump had just announced that he was pulling out. So why would Assad at that point use chemical weapons against his people? Why? That does not make any sense. That would be a bad move strategically. It would be stupid. And Assad is not stupid. So it doesn't make sense. So I don't believe that for a minute. And I don't believe that Trump believes it. Because, again, Trump isn't stupid. He knows that Assad would... It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So, let's go back. Now, this is another Anon post, and I pasted it here. Oh my God, it's an old, irrelevant air-to-air missile designated Sparrow. Ground strikes were with air-to-air Sparrow missiles, so they did no damage. Chess confirmed. Well, I don't know enough about Sparrow missiles to know what kind of damage they would cause. So I'm not going to speak about something that I have no knowledge about. But possibly some of you do have that knowledge and can address that in the comments below. But this is what I believe, and that is why I posted it. I believe that they're Sparrow missiles. It only makes sense. And possibly the red... I don't think that it's, dealing with China. I don't think he's saying red missiles like China, or not China, I'm sorry, Russia. I don't think that he's saying Russian missiles because they're U.S. Sparrow are U.S. missiles, but I think he's saying red as in they're hot. They're raining down. They're hot, That's generally what red means. Well, one of the definitions. I mean, red can refer to a lot of things. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm yawning. I finished my my thesis last night, and so I am working just towards reading through it one more time before I upload it, and so I'm tired, but I just so much looking forward to getting some rest and not having to work on it. It's just going to be wonderful. Then maybe I can, research a few more things that are of interest to us all and bring those to you. Now, this is another thing that I stuck in here because I thought it was interesting. And this is it's from Rod Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General, U.S. Department of Justice. And dear Mr. Rosenstein, well, it's not from, it's to him, sorry. Dear Mr. Rosenstein, hang on here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. There we go. It's blurry, and I apologize. It's a picture, so I can't make it unblurry. In testimony before the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, James Comey, the former director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, confirmed the existence of memos he had drafted memorializing his conversation with President Donald J. Trump, the Comey memos. The FBI produced these memos on a read and review only basis to select members of and staff of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. The committees request the Department of Justice make copies of the Comey memo available immediately and no later than the close of business Monday, April 16th, 2018. Copies of unclassified memos should be produced to all three committees in unredacted form. Copies of memos containing classified information should be produced to all three committees in both 1. Unredacted form under separate cover, and 2. Declassified form with appropriate redactions. There is no legal basis for withholding these materials from Congress. Please contact Sean Brebbia of the Committee of Oversight and Government Reform at, and gives a number, or Robert Parmeter of the Committee on the Judiciary at, and it gives a number, with any questions about this request. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And it's signed Trey Gowdy and Bob Goodlott. And Devin Nunes, Chairman, Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. So, fire in the hole. Monday, by end of day. This is very, very, very good news. And I just wanted to update you. This was dated April 13th, which is Friday. They have until Monday at close of business to produce it. Ooh. So, wanted to be sure that you all knew about that. And also wanted to show you this. Oh my gosh, Comey's book. What a train wreck. Trump derangement syndrome. Comey book compares hand size with POTUS. Yeah, these are the types of really important insights that Comey has on Trump. His hand size, of course, referring his hand size to the size of his penis. Yeah. So I did read a couple clips, and I should have kept them but because it was ridiculous. It was about Comey giving Trump an apple, and Trump apparently gave it to someone else who threw it in the garbage, and Comey, calling Trump a brute, and I mean, just ridiculous. He's a grown man, for heaven's sakes. Comey described his impressions after meeting Trump for the first time at the pre-inauguration intelligence briefing at Trump Tower. Comey writes the president-elect's face appeared slightly orange, and this is in quotes, face appeared slightly orange with bright white half-moons under his eyes, where I assumed he placed small tanning goggles, and impressively coiffed bright blonde hair, which, upon close inspection, looked to be all his. I remember wondering how long it must take him in the morning to get that done. These are the things that Comey is thinking about as he meets Trump officially for a pre-inauguration intelligence briefing at Trump Tower. These are the things this man thinks about. Wow. Deep. Really, really deep. Comey reveals that he was paying attention to the size of Trump's hands, referring to a comment by Senator Marco Rubio during the 2016 presidential race. Trump had small hands. Trump had called Rubio Little Marco. The size of his hands. Now, when somebody makes any reference to a man's hand size, you know what he's referring to. I mean, anybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Yeah, these are the things that he's thinking about going into a pre-inauguration intelligence briefing. These are the things he thinks about. Okay. I'm really glad this man does not have a position of authority in our country anymore. I don't know about you, but I'm relieved. These are the things he thinks about. Comey wrote that Trump's hands are smaller than his own. Oh, well then, you must have a bigger penis, dear. Oh, did that make you feel better? Does that make you feel better? Oh, good, good. We wouldn't want you to feel inferior. As he extended his hand, Comey wrote of the first meeting, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Oh. So yours is bigger. Good. I'm sure you're relieved at that. Comey accuses Trump of no less than building a cocoon of alternative reality that he was busily wrapping around all of us. According to the Post characterization of the book, Comey describes Trump as a congenital liar and unethical leader, devoid of human emotion and driven by personal ego. No bias there. Now, yeah, I think that Trump has a very healthy personal ego. I do. But he's accomplished a lot, and that's part of who he is. I certainly don't think he is devoid of human emotion. I don't think he's an unethical leader. I don't know if he's a congenital liar. I don't know. I don't think so. But I haven't looked way back into things. I don't know, but he doesn't strike me as one. Comey wrote that interacting with Trump gave him flashbacks to my earlier career as a prosecutor against the mob, the silent circle of assent, the boss in complete control, the loyalty oaths, the us versus them worldwide, the lying about things, the lying about all things, large and small, in service to some code of loyalty that put the organization above morality and above the truth. That's a little melodramatic. Comey's feelings about Trump may have been distorted by his childhood. He wrote that he was bullied as a kid. Aha! There we have it. Bullied as a kid, worried about his penis size. The Post relates that Comey describes being bullied as a child growing up in Allendale, New Jersey, taunted, body slammed into lockers, and given wedgies. Bullies, he writes, threaten the weak to feed some insecurity that rages inside of them. Surviving a bully requires constant learning and adaptation, which is why bullies are so powerful, because it's so much easier to be a follower, to go with the crowd, to just blend in. Well, that's true in general, but I still think that he was probably intimidated by Trump because Trump doesn't take any crap, and Washington's not used to that. I mean, generally, in the past, you could buy off just about anybody, right? Well, and then Trump comes and he says, okay, this is the way it's going to be. And I don't think anybody liked that. Possibly some did. I don't know. But most didn't. Comey also ruminates on the psychology of liars in an apparent nod to the current occupant of the Oval Office. Who's the liar in this case, Comey? You were the one caught lying, not him. I'm just reminding you, in case you forgot. Oh, wait, that's Nancy Pelosi that forgets. Comey blasts the forest fire that is the Trump's presidency. He calls it a forest fire. What is happening now is not normal, he writes. It's not fake news. It is not okay. Comey also reveals his wife and daughters all voted for Hillary Clinton, and they participated in the anti-Trump Women's March one day after the president's inauguration. No bias there, I wouldn't think. Yeah, okay. I had to read that to you guys because I just found it a little amusing, and I thought I could amuse you all too, possibly. Now, you know how the mainstream media says that Trump hates women, and he hates women, and he hates all blacks. Oh, he hates blacks. Trump can't stand blacks. Well, how do you explain this? Oh, wait. Trump nominates first black woman to serve as brigadier general rank. and that is in the Marine Corps. It confirmed Marine Corps Colonel Lorna M. Mahlock will be the first black woman to attain one of the highest military positions in the world. In the world. I don't know. Do you see anything about her that... Yes, that's right. She's black. That's right. And she looks like a very strong and competent woman. Very strong. Because let me tell you, when I don't know what the statistics are for men against women in the military, but some of those guys in the Marine Corps are no joke. Yet she can stand up to them and demand attention. Now you know that woman has to be 1,000 times better, because it is not easy for a woman to rise in the ranks in military, and especially not for a black woman. And I'm sorry, it is that way in our country. It shouldn't be. But here, Trump has confirmed her. First time. I think this is awesome. And I'm proud of this person. I don't know her, but I'm proud of her because I know she has had to work so hard for our country. And I know that if she was promoted to this, that she sorely deserved it. And I'm proud of her. I'm glad she's American. I'm glad she's on our side. But I think this is wonderful. And I don't need to read it all. Okay, here, this has the statistics. Malloch is among the mere 8% of women serving in the Marines, the smallest branch of our military. This follows the unnamed woman who became the Corps' first infantry officer last year, only 3 years after the Pentagon officially opened up combat roles to female soldiers. 2017 also saw the first female infantry Marines assigned to the 1st Battalion, 8th Marine Regiment in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So it hasn't been that long since women were even allowed to serve, and yet this woman has risen through the ranks as a woman, as a black woman, as a strong black woman. Congratulations to her. I think this is a wonderful story, and I think that it flies in the face of the narrative that Trump hates women and hates all blacks. But I haven't seen much about this in the mainstream media. Have you? Oh, actually, I haven't seen it at all in the mainstream media. Now, granted, I may have missed it, but where is it? It needs to be. It needs to be splashed all over everywhere. And if you're on Twitter or Facebook, I'd ask that you spread this and say, wait a minute, how is it that Trump hates women, hates all black, but nominates the first black woman to serve as brigadier general rank? How is that? I'd like to know. They can't have it both ways. They can't. All right, so let's move on. Okay. Now this comes out, which is probably more MSM breathless over non-reporting of unconfirmed rumor about Trump fathering child. The absurd desperation of our media and special counsel Robert Mueller to overturn the election of President Trump achieved light speed Thursday with the, quote, bombshell news that the National Enquirer did not report an unconfirmed secondhand rumor about Trump fathering a child out of wedlock in 1989. The far-left Associated Press, Roman Farrow at The New Yorker, the anti-Trump Washington Post, and all of the usual suspects are frantically piling on over a second-hand rumor no one else has been able to confirm. But now that the Russian collusion hoax has backfired on the deep state, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, now that the idea that the Trump obstructed justice has been exposed as more than a little sketchy, it has come to this: raids on Trump's personal attorney, decades-old rumors of consensual affairs being treated as Watergate, the criminalization of perfectly legal non-disclosure agreements, and breathless reporting of the fact that there was no reporting of a baseless rumor. After he passed a lie detector test in late 2015, American Media Inc., publisher of the National Enquirer, paid former Trump Tower doorman Dino Sanjadine $30,000 for the exclusive rights to the following. He heard rumors that Trump fathered a child with a 29-year-old Trump Tower employee some 30 years ago. So he's paying this doorman $30,000, which to a doorman is a lot of money, probably. I don't know what a Trump Tower doorman makes, but he's paying him $30,000 to hear that he heard rumors. I hear rumors. I hear rumors all the time. Would somebody pay me? No, seriously. I'll tell you rumors. Really. This is ludicrous. It's like, it's so out there. Moreover, despite the bottomless pit of corporate resources and partisan zeal at their disposal, neither the New Yorker nor the AP have been able to confirm the rumor. My guess is that countless other news outlets have spent gobs of money chasing this as well. Basically, all of this sound and fury is over a doorman hearing rumors that Trump fathered a child. Rumors. Secondhand rumors. Because according to the New Yorker, the doorman claims he heard the rumors from Trump's head of security, Matthew Calamari. Calamari denies he told the doorman this, and again, the New Yorker has uncovered no evidence that Trump fathered the child. The establishment media are accusing the Enquirer of paying off the doorman to spike the story to kill it. But the Enquirer claims it spent 4 months investigating the story and, like the mighty MSM, could not find any evidence that the secondhand rumor was true. The Enquirer's lead reporter on the story, Sharon Churcher, told the New Yorker, "I do not believe that story was true. I believed from the beginning it was not true." The New Yorker then attacks her credibility through anonymous sources, but without any specifics. In 2014, there were reports that this same doorman falsely accused another Trump Tower resident of fathering a child out of wedlock. The New Yorker goes on to contradict itself with this gibberish, although many of the AMI sources I spoke with expressed skepticism about Sajuddin's claims. All 6 agreed that AMI made a concerted effort to shut down the story. Apparently, the Enquirer was supposed to keep chasing a phony story. Both the AP and the New Yorker were told by the former doorman that he would say nothing more unless he was well paid. If there's no money involved with it, he told the AP, I'm not getting involved. Well, no, naturally not. My time is valuable. Yes, well, of course, you're a doorman. What's your offer? Was his response to the New Yorker. Yeah. Overall, our media appears to be upset that the Enquirer might be guilty of protecting Trump by spiking the story of a baseless rumor that no one can confirm is true. And who better to lecture others about media bias than our very own anti-Trump media? Yes, yes, indeed. Now, that is just about the most ludicrous story I've ever read. And let's say he did father a child in 1989. Who cares? I don't. I mean, if he had, I can bet that child would be in the media because that mother would be knocking on Trump's door trying to get everything she could from him to live a life of luxury. Well, hey, that's just me, but I'm pretty sure that's what would happen. So, yeah, the National Enquirer pays this guy. They can't find any evidence in the story, so they squelch it. And then they're now being accused of squelching the story to protect Trump. The National Enquirer. Yeah. When has a National Enquirer ever protected anybody? When has their... I mean, yes, some of their stories have had truth or snippets of truth, but in this case, it was received from a doorman who wouldn't talk unless he got $30,000. And it was a rumor. Yeah. Okay. And you can bet with all the people against Trump that if that was true, it would be out and it would be everywhere. So, anyway. Now, I found this meme and I thought it was hysterical. Hysterical. Here's Zuckerberg testifying, and here's this guy. Come on, smile. I bet you got a beautiful smile. Why don't you share it with the world? And then below, he smiles, and the guy goes, there is no God. Because that is an evil, soulless smile if ever I've seen one. And I was struck with that about Zuckerberg. I did watch some of the testimony, and I thought, wow. For one thing, I noticed that a couple times I can't remember who was questioning him, but his eyes went completely dark. And I've been trying to find that little clip because I swear his eyes went completely dark. And I thought, okay, that is weird. And other times it didn't look like there was anybody home there. Like, he's very intelligent, and I know that, but it was like there was a disconnect there. Like, they were not connecting. And I just don't understand. And another thing that I wanted to bring up, this whole thing with Diamond and Silk, that was brought up in the hearing. And, you know, he's saying, oh, I'm not aware, and la, la, la. Okay, well, he was just made aware, right? He was just made aware that these two ladies that had, I think, over 1 million Facebook followers, whose only crime is supporting Trump, and, you know, they're dangerous to the community. So he's made aware of it. Now, all he'd have to do during a break is make one phone call to somebody, right? Hey, guys, do you want to, you know, undelete this or whatever? However, he would rectify that. It could have been done in one quick phone call, one quick text to one of his, you know, lackeys, and it would have been done. But as of today, it's still not. So that tells me it was on purpose, right? Right. He's censoring them on purpose. Well, of course, we knew that. But then he says, well, I'm not aware of that. And, you know, it's unbelievable. He could have rectified it during a break. He could have rectified it that day. He could have rectified it when he went back to his hotel that night, made a note to himself, oh, okay, I'm going to text, you know, so-and-so and have him fix that. Because that's not right. No, he didn't do that. Didn't do any of that. No apologies. But they're still banned because they're dangerous to the community, don't you know? Well, thankfully, they're two strong women and they're just keeping on, but it's not right. And it's going to happen to all of us sooner or later. Unless something's done, something drastic is done. Because this guy, he's not sorry for anything. And it was very evident to me that this accomplished absolutely nothing and that he intends on doing absolutely everything that he's currently doing. There's not going to be any changes. So anyway, that's all I have for today. And I will come back if there's more Q posts today. And if not, then maybe I will upload tomorrow. Well, no, let's just go ahead and say I will upload tomorrow because I'll have handed in my thesis at that time, and I will be footloose and fancy free. So, more or less. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. If you want to be subscribed, make sure you stay subscribed because we all know what they're doing. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Stay safe and have a good day.